Last week in our full house renovation, Finn went on a massive digging spree, and then all of the waste pipe work was all fitted for the entire rear extension. High level scaffolding was fitted because we revealed that we're going to need a new roof as part of this home renovation project. And now, coming up this week on our home renovation journey, it's the moment we've been dreading because the work comes inside. And this means the kitchen's got to be removed, a partition wall that's between the kitchen and dining room gets knocked down, and then a steel beam gets fitted. It actually gets recessed up into the ceiling, but I'll explain why and how they do it later. Here we were at the weekend before the builders arrived, and we're busy cleaning out the kitchen. The problem is we've got nowhere for it to go. And that's what happens a lot of these renovation projects. You're living in it, all your stuff's in the house, but you've got rooms that have to be empty, so you're always moving things from one place to another. This is meant to be our sanctuary in here. It's where we come for a bit of sanity, to relax on a night, and you can see it's anything but at the moment. So Lee is opening up the ceiling here in the kitchen because this partition wall between the kitchen here and the dining room on the other side needs to be knocked down, but he needs to get a beam in there first, so he needs to see where the ceiling joists are. Here you can see Lee drilling and then chiselling out slots ready for a strong boy to go in. And a strong boy sits on top of an Acrow prop and Finn's downstairs putting the prop in place. And as you can see, Lee and Finn are putting a prop between each one of the floor joists, and that's to make sure that this wall here is fully supported. And here was the beam arriving this morning, and the guys needed to get it round the back so that they had it where they needed it, ready for fitting. With those wooden inserts in place, the beam's ready to install, but first there's a bit more prep required inside. And with the ceiling joists above supported by the Acrow props, It means that Finn and Lee can get in now and they can take out the partition wall between the kitchen and the dining room, and this will make room for them to work on the beam installation. So we're out in the dining kitchen part of the rear extension. I just want to show you the work that's going on. Now these scaffold towers have been used, plus lots of other lifting equipment, to get that beam up and through the wall. Now I make that sound a lot easier than it was, because as you can imagine, lifting the beam up and then sliding it through was no easy task. So let's turn around and go inside the house, and then we can have a look and see what's been going on inside the kitchen and dining area. So apologies, it's a bit dark in here, just doing my best for you guys. But here you can see the beam, and that runs all the way across from the outside wall to the inside wall where a hole's been punched through as well. And you can see all these props and a board going across, and that's supporting all of the ceiling timbers. But I'm just going to zoom in a bit here, because what you can see is these ceiling joists have been getting cut back, and that's because this beam's going to be recessed up into the ceiling. And that means you won't be able to see the beam in the ceiling of the finished room. So you can see a few have been cut off already. Well, quite a lot actually. But if we jump to the other side and look from the dining room side, you can see these other ceiling joists that are running across. They all still need to be cut. Now eventually we're going to have yet another beam, because this is the outside wall that needs to come out. So there's going to be a big long beam going all the way across, so that then all this can come out, and that one's actually going to support this one. So that's how this side's going to be supported. And if we just pop our heads inside the house, you can just see at the far side that there's a pillar of blocks, part of this wall here, that's going to support the beam here. So speaking of lifting the beam up, it's probably worth just popping upstairs, because sometimes it's not just a simple case that it goes up and there's not anything in the way. So Lee's just working away up here, and that's because where he wants to lift the beam up, then there are some central heating pipes and also some wiring, and so he needs to think about what boards need to come up so that he can reroute the pipes and also the wiring as well. So that's what he's busy working on up here. So wow, this week on the full house renovation, the internal works has really got off with a bang. And now that this beam's in, a new problem's presented itself. It's not anything that Lee, our builder, can't handle, it's just another complication. I'm sure that you can see that all of these ceiling joists, which were part of the kitchen, are much bigger joists, so you can see that they're hanging down below the beam. Whereas the other ones, which were the dining room, then they just go nicely into the beam. What that means is we have two different ceiling heights, and because this area is all knocked through now, then it just can't remain like that. So coming up in future videos, and maybe even next week, there's going to be a lot of work to kind of level up these ceiling heights. Apparently the way you do it is by adding something to these joints, reboarding and then skimming across, and that will level up the ceiling all the way across. So a big thanks to E. Ross Builders, because this recessed beam was a lot of work, but it's going to make a huge difference to how our rear extension looks. And also next week we're going to have a full new roof going on. Now there are advantages to putting a new roof on, because for one, the roof that's going to be going onto the rear extension is now going to be able to match it all, and so it's going to be a better end result. But it was just an unforeseen cost that we would rather have avoided at this time. We're also shopping for kitchens right now, and that's another expensive item for the house, so it's all coming at us thick and fast. But anyway, I hope that you're enjoying the videos, and if you are, then please give us a thumbs up. And if you want to see more videos in this series, there's still lots to do, then please consider subscribing and clicking the bell, and maybe we'll see you in the next video. All right, thanks for watching. Bye for now.